Hey, welcome back to another episode of the TVC Collector. This is going to be from April 17th to April 19th, just looking at the sales of things that it sold at eBay. And so let's just get straight into it. First off, we had a Zam Wessel VC30. That's a 1.0 figure, unpunched, pretty nice. It did look to me like there was one small like curvature to this card, just a little bit, not too overly pronounced, but anyway, that's a really good figure. I like that figure from the Attack of the Clones. That one was listed at 89.95. The best offer accepted on it was actually 64 plus another $7 shipping. So what is it, about $71 for that? So not a bad deal there at all. This one was a little confusing to me. This one was the Imperial Salt tank driver, and it went for 93.38 free shipping. And I think perhaps that it's no fault of the seller, but I believe someone might have got confused between this one and the Imperial Assault Tank Commander, which here's one of those, VC 148. And the reason I say that is because the tank driver typically goes for about $60, and this one went for 93.98. It also did not say VC 126, which is what this one is as far as the VC number, but the Imperial Assault Tank Commander is the one that usually goes for 99.95, like this one did. So that's about $108 for that one. So anyway, keep that in mind. If you're looking for the tank driver, that one should be quite a bit cheaper. You can find them easily for $60. So, but that one did sell. So there you go. There's the pair of them. Then next up, we had the Commander Gree VC43 1.0 figure. This looked like to be a really nice example. This one went for 77 plus another 6, so $83 shipped on that one. Nice figure there. Then next up, we had a pair of the Razor Crest HasLab figures. These are unpunched. So the All-4 Jawa Elder, and then the Grogu. The only difference between this Grogu and the regular one that they released in the regular line was actually this was a chrome or slash Beskar, if you want to call it that. But it's a really cool looking pram that he has. It's chrome instead of the standard color. But man, these have come way down. $80 for the pair of them. So that's 40 bucks a piece with free shipping. I remember when these were $80 each. So somebody got a good deal on those. Those are very nice. Next up, we had a Antok Merrick, the VC204. This one was listed for 120. The best offer accepted on it was $98. So 98 bucks shipped. Here again, these pretty much consistently hang around $100 is what the price is for those. It's like we've seen in previous videos. The if you buy this ship, it's 200 bucks, and $100 of that is just for the card. So next up, this is a tri-logo offerless. So this is the Canadian, North American, South American version. This is VCO7 DAC Ralter, and this is offerless. And I will have a confession to make. I'm the one that bought this. So I already had the one with the boba offer, or let me take that back, the baba offer. So this is the one with the baba offer on it. But I do like offerless. So anytime I see one pop up that's completely a true blue, genuine Canadian, North American, South American offerless, I was like, I had to have that. So I went ahead and bought that. So anyway, I paid, you say what I paid for it. I paid $89.95 plus another $8 shipping on that. So happy to add that to my collection. And then next up, we had another Commander Cody. This is the foil version, VC19, so $89.95 on that one, free shipping. Looked like it was pretty clean. I didn't really see any major damage with that particular card. Here up, we have the Canadian, North American, South American, whatever you want to call it, VC13 Anakin Skywalker. This was went for $175 Canadian, which is $128 in the US. And again, it shows $23.47 on the shipping, but I don't know. That would have been if it was shipping it to me. So if they shipped it to the United States, that's about what it cost. But if not, then maybe they shipped it locally. But if you want to get a look at the back of this card, this was what the back of the card looks like. Just like the DAC Ralter that I bought, the North American, South American, even the ones that didn't have a tri-language in the name pill have tri-language on the back of the card. So you got your English, French, and I think Spanish, maybe a Portuguese or something on the language on the back. So I love these cards. You can also tell by the upper logo here on the left. You got the age, the EDAD, and the IDADE. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing those right, but at any rate, that's what the back of the card looks like, and that's the front of the card. So if you compare that, that was about $128. And again, if it was shipped to the States, so let's call that about $150. Versus here was one that was the American card that was the foil version. And this one had free shipping. Now, one of the things that the seller did put in here was that this was a stock photo. It was not the actual item. So that's probably why it went so cheap at $106.99, because you really don't know what you're getting. You paid $106, $107 for that, but you may or may not be getting a crunched up card. So you compare that one to this one, where this was the actual photo, and this one did look pretty good. See, this one was the same exact thing, foil, went for 177.50 plus another six, so $183. And this one looked pretty clean. The only thing I saw was this one little ping right here on the right hand side, but other than that, it looked like a pretty nice sample of that. So keep that in mind if you're, buying one that is not a stock photo. I hate stuff like that. Like, if I'm going to open it, I don't care, obviously. So, but if it's something that I'm not going to open, I'm not taking a risk on something that's not, the photo of the actual item. And you can email people and ask them, say, hey, can you provide me a photo of it? If they don't respond, I move on to the next one. That's just me personally. So next up, we had a Revenge of the Jedi. This was the retail version, Boba Fett VC09. This is the prototype armor sticker that was on it, and this one went for 124 shipped. This probably came out of a case because it never got hung on a peg since it's unpunched. But the punch was not very clean. I think those are just minor paint scrapes that probably came out of the case. I don't think it's been, damaged by the punch has been damaged anyway. You can see on the backside it's very firmly connected. But at any rate, a little bit of paint scrapes, and that did happen when you get stuff out of the case sometimes, especially in the 1.0 run. I had plenty of them that way. There's a slight little, little bend right there, but I mean it presents very well. You put this in a acrylic case or something, and man, that's a good looking figure there. So let's compare that. Speaking of Boba Fett, here's the next one is a rocket firing Boba Fett. So this was the mail away offer. This was VCP03. So this went for 99 bucks. It did have the original shipper box with it. So it looked like it was a pretty nice sample, unpunched as well. And that's the rocket firing Boba Fett. And I'm sure a lot of you know the history of the rocket fire Boba Fett. If you don't, that started out as a Kenner figure, but when the kids got it, it never. The rocket firing mechanism was glued into place because some kid choked on I think it was a Battlestar Galactica piece. This was back in the 70s and 80s, right? So anyway, it took them all the way to 2010 and Hasbro purchasing Kenner, but they were finally able to release the actual rocket fire Boba Fett. So that's a really cool figure and a little cool piece of history there. Next up, we had a Tonica. We had Brija this time. This one went for 120 bucks, so that's a little bit cheaper than 150 if you're buying them on a buy it now. So if you catch it on a bid here again, you can save yourself about 30 bucks. So, but yep, she's one of my favorites. Next up, we had a Princess Leia. So this is the slave outfit. This is the Return of the Jedi, not the Revenge of the Jedi version. Same figure, different card. Prototype armor, punched, $210 for that. Now, this one I thought was interesting. This is the actual proof card for Revenge of the Jedi. So he was selling just the proof card. It went for $107 shipped, and he included with it the Sandstorm Leia, like we've talked about in previous videos. She's the same exact Leia, except for she does not have the chain around her neck. So anyway, to get a proof card, I mean, those can run 75 to 80 bucks. And then to get this figure, if you have a sail barge and you wanted one, I thought this was actually a pretty good deal. Because again, that proof card goes for $80 easy just by itself. And so you're getting thrown in here a $20 a figure for 20 bucks that even buying that loose, you can pay. That might be the Legacy collection possibly, but I don't think so. I think it's actually the Samstor. It comes with the little cup. So it's either the Legacy collection or it's possibly the Sandstorm Leia where you take um the robe off of it. But still, again, that loose Leia, I mean, she can go for, 60, 70 bucks by herself as well. So that was a good deal on that one. So congrats to whoever got that. This is a heartbreaker here because I wanted to buy this. I didn't buy this because I just bought the DAC that I talked about, but it was on my watch list. This is a Rebel Commando, the VC-26. Now this is the UK, well not the UK, the European version. Again, this is a physically printed card. This is not got stickers on it per se. So unpunched, and man, it was UKG 90. Oh, that's just beauty. 90%, 90%, and 95 for the figures. So I really wanted to buy this, and to confess, I have this, but it's not graded UKG 90. If I send it into AFA, I'm probably going to get an 8.5 on it, and I've thought about it at some point. Right now, I'm just going to stick it in an acrylic case, but I mean, this one was graded 90, and that card looks really, really clean. No scuffs hardly at all, no chipping and whatnot. So, congratulations to whoever got this. But anyway, this went for 150 euros, which translates into $176.21. If someone bought it, this was in Germany, so if someone here in the U.S. bought it, it would have been another $30 for shipping on top of that. So, but someone maybe in the Europe bought it and it didn't quite go for that much. So, but $176 for a graded VC-26. These are not easy to come by with the European card. So congrats to whoever got that. And I really wanted to buy it, but I just couldn't swing it after I'd already spent some money. So anyway, the next up was get away from the single carded figures, and we'll get into the multi-packs. Here's the multi-pack. We saw one of these sell on the previous video. I think this was 85 plus another 8, so that's about 93 shipped. These are really come up in price as well. So I think these were about 65 when they first came out, as what they retailed from Pulse. So they're starting to come up on the rise. And here again, there's that Admiral Mahdi. I really hope they re-release him in next year on a New Hope card. That's an easy one, with him getting choked by Vader or whatever photo that they want to use on that. But yeah, that's a really cool 4-pack. Next up, we had the Rogue One Imperial Assault tank. So this went for 75 plus another 20, so that's 95 shipped. And this is again the one like we started at the beginning of the video where you have the tank commander and the tank driver. That's those two that kind of go along with that. And these tanks aren't really hard to come by. I mean, you can get them obviously, and they're not super expensive, 75 bucks. But it's the figures that were short packed, so that's where they go for quite a bit of money. If you want to try to get opener ones, this would be a good one, I think, for Hasbro to re-release, maybe with a Scarif Trooper as well, and put them in like one of those action figure 3-packs. Don't release them single carded, just do the single carded, or the single 3-pack. Like we just recently saw with not the Heir to the Empire because those were single cardeds, but the one with the Snow Trooper Commander and the Imperial Sand Trooper and the speeder bike. So one of those special action figure 3-packs, that would be a good one for them to re-release, because getting these for these vehicles is rather expensive. I mean, even to pay 60 bucks for the tank driver, that's a lot of money to get a figure that was open. So I think it would be wise on Hasbro's part. Like I said, they could put the commander, the driver, and like the Scarif Trooper, and just put it in a 3-pack, boom, release it out there, and that'll help a lot of people get those. If you're listening, Hasbro, I'm trying to help you out here. And anyway, and it won't devalue the value of people's really nice carded ones. So Anyway, next up, here's some more of those graded vehicles. Man, this was a beauty. This was AFA 85. This was the Tatooine skiff. Man, really love that. It's just that's awesome. I have my skiffs and my barge all set up, but to get a really mint sample AFA 85, and it really wasn't that much, 150 bucks with another 25 shipping. So somebody got a really good deal on this because just getting the skiff, I think, probably runs around 75 to 80 bucks. And then to get it graded, you're talking about at least another 75 to 80 bucks. So here again, this one's graded and it's already, you know, nice and pristine. So that's a really cool one that I'm guessing somebody just sold off their collection possibly and, ran out of space or got tired of collecting or whatever the deal was. But man, there's been some beauties coming from that seller. Here was a tire interceptor, the 2013. This was the Amazon exclusive. It did not come with the shipper box, or at least they didn't show the shipper box. So, originally they came in the white box, kind of like we saw with the rocket firing Boba Fett. They did have a white box that came with them. So this one went for 200 bucks plus $126 shipping. Wow, that is a lot of shipping. This is a tidbit too for all you people who do ship. If you're a shipper, go use Pirate Ship. It's so much cheaper than doing it with eBay. They have deals where you're getting commercial rates, and they use PayPal, so you can go to Pirate Ship and you can pack the box up. You can ship this vehicle right here in a big box with padding and all of that stuff, and choose like UPS, and the shipping on it's going to be about 35 bucks to $40 versus if you go through eBay that you know it's that's just ridiculous what they charge. So anyway, you can use Pirate Ship. That's a free tip right there, and you can pay with your PayPal, and then just take the tracking code once you print it out and pack it up and all that stuff. Take the tracking code and just put it into eBay, and there you go, and take it and drop it off. So anyway, this one went for $326. So compare that to that Jabba's Palace. He had another one of these. This one was graded, so this one was AFA 85 plus as well. I'm trying to get to the sub scores. What do they have on the sub scores? Or they didn't have the sub scores on this. I guess because it was a vehicle. But at any rate, a graded one for $440 versus one that I'm just assuming, I don't know if somebody's going to open that or if they're just going to, wanted it for their collection, but $326. But man, that's cool. I mean, just to have one of those encased in acrylic, I mean, that's a really cool piece there. So uh, next up, we had a Republic gunship. This was the Toys R Us exclusive. This one is it commanded a lot of money here, 659, so 660 plus another $30 for shipping, so that's $690. And this box was not mint. It was sealed, it was not opened, but I mean, it definitely had some damage. So it's interesting that someone would pay this much for this particular gunship and it's beautiful artwork. And again, you have the little Toys R Us exclusive logo, which is very nostalgic for those of us who used to frequent Toys R Us quite a bit. But when you could have got the new gunship for, I think, I want to say it was 600. I have to go back and look. It was either 600 or something along those lines. So anyway, we've seen these go and come down in price anywhere from 450, if they're really got a banger box, up to here's one that's $700. So, if someone wanted this in their collection, or if maybe they're not aware of the HasLab or they couldn't afford the HasLab at the time, definitely not, talking bad about the buyer, just, whoever bought it. But that's interesting that it went for that much money when the HasLab one, which is going to be actually significantly bigger than this and comes with the stand, is roughly about the same price. So we'll have to see what they do on the secondary market once those actually get into people's hands and then they start reselling them, because some people buy multiples to sell or whatever. So we'll see what happens when those come in. Next up, we had a Razor Crest. Actually, we think we have two of these. This is in the shipper box. This one went for 650 shipped with free shipping, and this other one went for 600 with $30 shipping, so 630. So again, 630 and 650 in the shipper box, factory sealed for the Razor Crest, and that's about what you're going to pay for it. Lastly, up we had here was another Smuggler's Run Galaxy's Edge Millennium Falcon. 750, man, that is a big number plus the $134 to ship it. I mean, that is a big ship to, to ship to ship, pardon my pun. Sold an AT-AT. It was one of the 2010 AT-ATs several years ago, and I packed it up, and it was a big box to ship. And like I was talking about, my friend had introduced me to Pirate Ship, and eBay will charge you some nonsense like this, but on Pirate Ship it cost me like $45 to ship that. So the seller was happy, and I was happy, and I told him, I said, hey, I saved you a lot of money by doing it this way. So anyway, that is 850 plus another 30, so that's almost $900 for that ship. So, wow, that's a lot. But anyway, congratulations to whoever got it. And the box looked nice. I mean, it didn't look like there was anything wrong with it. And per this box, he looks like he even had it in a shipper box. So that's even better. But there you go. That's our look at the things that sold on this particular episode. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe and hit the little bell next to the subscription. We'll give you notifications if you want to get notified whenever I post new content. But keep buying that vintage collection stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.